isyu ng bayan. Mula sa Zamboanga City,
Naghahatid sa inyo ng balita sa mang sulok ng bansa.
pinatapang, pinalawak, at pinalakas ang 24/7 Balita.
Exclusive! Selected external influences and constituencies for the school district. What are the resources needed to operate the school district? How does scarcity in resources affect the development of the school district? Institutions enact strategies that cope with certain external effects. Dumaguio and Powell identify the three general mechanisms and conformity. Connectivity of the No Child Left Behind Act to school accountability. Standardized tests, not favorite targets of complaints in the Philippines.
As you can see, there are a lot of influences surrounding the school district. These are what you call the external environment of the school. Taxpayers, unions, regulatory agencies, legislatures, accrediting agencies, educational associations, college and universities, and parents supports or influence the school district and vice versa. And also, on the outer part of the diagram, we have the democratic characteristics, cultural values, information technologies, economic and market forces, social conditions, and political and legal patterns that is the constituencies of the school. First, let's have the taxpayer. Taxpayer is a person who pays taxes. In our country, public schools are being funded by the government. That's why we have a free education. But some public schools, like in America, they are funded approximately 90% by the state and local revenue. Most local funds come from property taxes. With the use of these funds, the school use variety of methods to maintain positive community relationships. School may host senior citizen luncheons or appreciation days, community health fairs, and offer up the school for community use. Siyempre, dapat maging wise ang mga teacher and the school for developing a strong community-school relationship dahil nagpapatuloy ang pagbibigay ng sustento sa kanila ng mga taxpayers. School and teachers need to demonstrate that they are using public funds in a responsible manner. Di dapat maging corrupt. Teachers must find high-quality, cost-effective programming and materials to help the students. Next, we have the regulatory agency. Ano nga bang mga ito? Regulatory agency is a public corporation, public authority or jurisdiction that is responsible for exercising autonomous domination over some area in human activity in regulatory or monitoring capacity. So they are the agency that implement and enforce law enacted by legislature. They are implementing laws by the regulations making process. Enforcement involves the monitoring and investigation of the school for compliance. So if the school violates a regulation, the agency is usually vested with the authority to impose a penalty. Siyempre, may rules and regulations ang school in order to have peace and harmonious teaching and learning environment. But, ang rules and regulation na ito ay dumadaan sa process. Dapat munang itong dumaan sa process bago maging law. This regulatory agency are in charge with this. So, ang regulatory agency ay nakakatulong talaga para magkaroon ng peaceful and harmonious environment ang school. Now, let's talk about the legislature. Legislature is a deliberate body of persons, usually elective, who are empowered to make, change, and repeal the laws of the country or a state. A branch of government having power to make laws as distinguished from the executive and judicial branches of the government. So in short, the legislature is the organ of the government which passes the laws of the government. We have this education law that is particularly fascinating. Why? Because it constantly seeks to strike balance between ensuring each child receives a standard education while maintaining parents' right to decide with her child to learn. The balance between maintaining student safety while respecting individual constitutional rights. The balance between accommodating students with disabilities and strict budgetary concerns. And the balance between giving teachers job security and intellectual freedom while ensuring that they completely educate their students. So you see, these legislatures support the school by providing laws for the students, teachers, the parents, the staffs, and the administrator of the school. Next, we have the accreditation agencies. These are the agencies that do accreditation. Accreditation is a form of quality control ensuring that institution of higher education satisfies certain standards. Accreditation is very important because it aims to ensure the accountability of schools and the degree programs which boost public trust and confidence. Now, let's take a look at this or watch this video.
Why accreditation?
Because accreditation helps our school and our kids continuously grow and improve.
Because it means my school is committed to providing a high-quality education.
Why accreditation?
Because it gives me a voice to say what I expect from my child's school.
Because it gets our entire school to work together and focus on continuous improvement.
Because it gives me pride in my school.
Because it offers a plan for achievement.
Why accreditation?
Because our parents want their kids to go to a school with high standards.
Because the college I want to go to only accepts graduates of accredited schools.
And because some state loans and grants are only available to students who attend accredited schools.
Because accreditation looks at me.
And me.
And me.
As more than a group of test scores.
The Middle States Association doesn't use a one-size-fits-all approach to accreditation.
Because they know that my school
and my school
and my school
aren't all the same.
And they can help us build a plan that's as unique as we are.
They have a long history of success and have been accrediting schools for 125 years.
Whoa!
That's a long time.
The Middle States Association currently has 2,800 accredited schools.
En casi 100 países, in nearly 100 countries.
They ask for my opinion.
And mine.
And mine.
When we are setting goals to improve our school.
They work with us to develop a plan to improve our whole school, not just our test scores.
Because at the Middle States Association, we recognize that there's more to measuring a school's performance. Much more.
So, if the institution programs is properly accredited, you are able to gauge its overall quality without having to conduct a detailed analysis on your own. Itong accreditation will serve as an insurance for the parents as well as the community to have their trust that the school district will provide the quality education that everybody needs. Now, we'll go through the educational associations. Educational associations are the association like the National Education Association or the NEA, where these are the group of people, educators, students, activists, workers, parents, neighbors, friends, who believe in the opportunity for all students and in power of public education to transform lives and create a more and just inclusive society. Now let's have the colleges and universities. Colleges and universities and the school partnership and collaboration have been more frequently recommended approaches to educational reform. One reason is that university and school provide each other with the resources and benefits in research and practice and need each other to reach their common goals and respective goals. And these are the increase in curriculum services for schools and research potential for the universities. Now let's have the parents. Parents are the one who is supporting the learners. They are the one of the external environment that is involved in the school. Parents need to be positive role model for the child in helping to shape the child's opinions and attitudes about learning. Sabi nga, learning begins at home, and parents are the one who is responsible for it. And in some cases in school, parents are doing volunteer, like they are attending school events, communicating with the teacher for some activities. They are the one of the stakeholder that contribute for the development of the school.
Shopee! Mag-shop tayo, bumili ng gusto mo. Shopee,
Sa Shopee bumili, bumili, Sa Shopee lowest price guarantee. Sa Shopee bumili, bumili, lowest price guarantee. Sa Shopee, bumili kayo! Ow!
Okay, now that we are done with the inner part of the diagram, let's have the outer part of the diagram. We have here the demographic characteristics. Findings in this report are provided for students who differ in age, gender, ethnicity were determined from data by student school or district for sample students. Next, we have the cultural values. Cultural values are usually not stated directly, but they come through the behavioral norms, customs, and usual approaches. A school's culture, the way we do things around here, influences every aspect of school life, including teacher feel about their students, how administrators relate to teachers, what teachers consider as professional attire, what staffs do and don't discuss in the teacher's lunch, whether teachers work in isolation or with colleagues, how teachers decorate their classroom, their emphasis on certain curricular topics, their willingness to change, and their confidence in their collective abilities to achieve their ambitions. So cultural context can have an influence on schooling because different cultures can respond to public schools differently. For example, many standardized tests have been shown for favor students from upper middle class backgrounds, compared to scores from students in more diverse and low-income districts. Now let's talk about the information technology. Information technology is a universal accepted educational instrument designed to increase the effectiveness and efficiency of the educational system. Computers are used for instruction as well as learning in the school system. Today, since we are in the pandemic, there are many new technologies being used like the social networking, online teaching, class blogs and wikis, podcasting, interactive whiteboards, and mobile devices. So information really contribute for the better teaching, learning, and work in the school district. So now let's have the societal condition. Societal conditions is an existing circumstances, situation, or state affecting the life, welfare, behavior and relations of human beings in community. So example of social conditions are poverty, quality of housing, homelessness, educational attainment and quality, unemployment, wage levels, lack of control over the organization of work, racial residential segregation, and other forms of discrimination which may truly affect the school. That's why there are educational associations which create a more and just, inclusive society so that there will be no room for discrimination and everybody can have the quality education. Okay, now we have the political and legal patterns. So in school district, public schools are publicly funded. They are especially subject to government control. The ways in which political contexts influence schooling are related to the nature of government having power over the school in their ability to enact and enforce relevant legislation. Different political climates can affect public schools differently. Okay, now, what are the resources needed to operate the school district? So we have here the resource dependence framework. Resource dependence theory is a theory that argues the goal of an organization is to minimize its dependence on the organizations for the supply of scarce resources in its environment. So let's see what is the meaning of resource and dependence. Resource is a source or supply or support, an available needs. Dependence is characterized as the extent of the need for the resource and its availability. So in education, these resources are to be used in operating an institution or the school. We have these types of resources which are from simple to complex. These are the fiscal, personnel, information, products, and services. So what is fiscal? Fiscal is the means for purchasing and or obtaining the supplies, materials, equipment, and etc. to provide programs for our children and students with disabilities. So what is personnel? Personnel is a body of persons employed in an organization or place of work. So in institution, these are the teachers, which are the faculty members, the members of the administrator, like the president, vice president, deans, department chairs, the janitor, the gardener, and other staffs involved in order to operate the institution. Okay, next we have the information. Information are facts provided or learned about something or someone. Information is being shared in an institution. This information will help to develop the school, like for example, the feedback of the parents or the external environment of the school. This feedback will serve as an information whether the institution is doing great with its programs or are there things need to be improved as indicated on the feedback given. Now we have the products and services. Products are tangible items that are acquired or consumed. Products can be physical or digital. Now we have the services. Services are the production of intangible outputs resulting from the work of one or more individuals. For example, in education services are the consulting, training, tutoring, teaching, editing, research, curriculum instructional design, development, writing, workshop, and classes. Example of products are books and e-books, memberships, like for example, membership site, online courses, apps and softwares, videos and audios, or seminar and webinars. Okay, now, let's see what will happen if there is scarcity and munificence in resources. But before that, what is scarcity? Scarcity is the state of being scarce, or in short, supply.
Now, let's see what will happen if there is scarcity and munificence in resources. As you can see, it is indicated that if there is scarcity in resources, like in fiscal, personnel, information, products and services, competition for resources is fierce, zero-sum game, and there is a limited to basic academic and extracurricular programming. But if resources are munificent, survival is easy, wide-ranging goals will be pursued, and abundant curricular and extracurricular programs. You see, these resources are essential in order for implementation and development to run through smoothly in an